We're excited to be here.
We're so excited.
We're so excited. I don't know why I did that, and now I'm all screwed up, so let me start that over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Watch Again Podcast. I'm Julian.
And I'm Jeremy. What's up, guys? It's good to be here. I'm excited.
We're very excited to be here.
So excited.
Anyway, this is a podcast where Jeremy and I watch everything that's on Netflix, Hulu. Again, almost said Instagram. I don't know why. It's on my brain today. You should follow us on Instagram. It's kind of important. But anyway, we watch everything that's on Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Apple TV, HBO, and Amazon Prime. And we're here to give you the best and the worst every week in just 15 minutes.
Yeah. I will say that this podcast has literally saved so many of my weekends. Like, I didn't watch Black Summer.
Didn't watch Island.
And the thing about it is that, like, I was like, man, I'm so glad we have this podcast here. But we're also glad that all of you are here too, because you guys are the reasons why we do this show. So make sure you subscribe and also share it with a friend. It is share and subscribe month, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
I thought that was every day.
No, it's actually the month of February. That's actually a thing. It's also Black History Month. But what you do is you take the podcast and you share it with someone that you know and you get them to subscribe. It's as simple as that.
Just do us a solid. That's literally it. Just do us a solid.
I like this way. Hit the subscribe button.
Please. Anyway.
You watched anything good this week?
I did. And I liked it. I started watching it. And at first I was like, I don't really know how I feel about the show. Because the first episode was 90 minutes and not an hour. So.
Oh, wow. It's a lot.
Yeah. And I actually noticed.
Was it like The Bachelor?
No, it was not The Bachelor. It was actually The Hunters.
There's evil living here. Bad neighbors.
They've blinded themselves to us. You can get away with anything in America.
So your grandmother and I created the Hunters.
We put together a group of Nazi hunters.
We would bring God's justice. What do you say?
I want in.
So this show is about a group of Nazi hunters that live in New York City during the 70s. And essentially the way it felt a lot like The Boys.
Okay, now, cliff note, we loved The Boys.
Love The Boys.
It's one of the best shows Amazon Prime has ever made. And on top of that, it's a superhero film that doesn't feel like a Marvel film.
Yep.
That's the best part about it.
So The Hunters pretty much has that same kind of dark, noir, gritty style to it. You know, bad shit's happening and they're trying to get things done. So it's essentially you're rooting for the anti-hero the entire time.
Okay.
But it kind of does some like weird stuff. So we're essentially following a 19-year-old kid who just lost his grandmother, and Al Pacino, who plays the head Nazi hunter, takes him under his wing and sort of shows him the ropes a little bit. And for the most part, it's a really good show.
Wow.
There is some really weird stuff that I'm assuming is you're like jumping into the mind of the kid.
Okay.
So in the very beginning, they're talking about, these are the different kinds of people that are on the team. Yeah. And so they kind of, it's funny because they do, it's a bat mitzvah. And so, it's bot because it's, right? Bot is
I'm not very well established in Jewish traditions.
It's bot or bar. I can't get it straight. Anyway, it's a mitzvah. They're having a mitzvah. Bot or bar, can't remember because it's a girl. So someone's going to correct me in the comments.
I think it's bot if it's a girl.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Anyway, so she's calling out the different people in the group and having them come forward and light the candle.
Yeah.
And as she calls them out, they're like, and this is so-and-so. And then on screen, it sort of like flashes what this kid is thinking. So like there's like a group of decoders or whatever, and they are like blowing stuff up and things like that.
Okay.
There was a couple other times that did that in the show, and it was a little jarring because it doesn't quite really fit.
Okay, so it kind of feels extra, doesn't feel as natural as
yeah. Okay. Whereas I feel like if it was anything else, it might work. I mean, there is a great cast of characters. Like I said, you have Al Pacino, who plays the head Nazi hunter.
Yeah.
You have Saul Rubinek and Carol Kane, who's one of my favorite people ever. She's super adorable. I love the relationship that the two of them play the entire time.
Okay.
There are several times where I got...
This is like a pretty all-star cast.
Yeah, there are several times I got choked up just based on their relationship. Yeah, there's about 10 episodes. The first one, like I said, is about 90 minutes long. They're all about an hour long. There is a heist episode, so you can get your heist in.
So Mandalorian episode 7?
It has been my favorite episode so far. I will say, like, it definitely... For the most part, it's not 100%. It's definitely like 80, 90, and I really liked it. Okay. And it's available on Amazon Prime.
So let me ask you this. Is this show one of those shows where you're going to binge it because you can't wait to see what happens next? Or is this more of like The Mandalorian, where every episode kind of has this nice little foregone conclusion? Or is it like The Boys, where you're like, holy shit, where's this going? Where does it fall into the things?
It's definitely something that I don't want to binge because the topic is just really heavy. What the show does really good, and I don't know why I didn't even mention this, is it plays into these people's lives who were in Nazi concentration camps.
Oh, well.
So a lot of times the show or the episode will start with a segment in Auschwitz because that's where these people are from. They're actually from the Nazi concentration camp.
Wow.
And so this is 20 years later, or excuse me, like 30 years later in the 70s. And they're sort of like reliving a lot of the things because the people that they're finding are the Nazi officers from those concentration camps.
Well, you know me, I love a good film about hunting some Nazis because fucking hate Nazis.
It's an intense show, so it's hard to watch back to back to back to back.
So maybe it's something you like, watch one episode on Saturday, one episode on Monday, after work,
yeah,
maybe you've got a little bit of time.
You definitely need to space it out. I got a little choked up.
Okay. Yeah. No, it definitely, I mean, it's a tough subject matter, but it sounds like Amazon has another hit show on their hands to follow up from The Boys. Man, The High Castle was good.
That was their other World War II show.
Yeah, and this is now World War II. We have a trend here, it seems. But it's good. B+.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, what about you? Did you watch anything good?
I did. So I've been on a Netflix kick recently. Let me tell you something about Netflix, okay? When we first started this podcast, I was like, guys, we're watching too much Netflix. Every show, every week is Netflix. But Netflix literally has 89 new titles being released in the next 90 days.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you gotta bump into Netflix. And so I was scrolling through Netflix and I found their latest show. It's called Gentefied.
Que te pasas toda la vida construyendo un negocio. Para que un pendejo te lo quite.
We're not gonna save the shop with a burrito. We're gonna save it with some changes.
¿Qué es esto?
Chicken tikka masala taco.
Esto no es comida mexicana. No es comida mexicana. Oye, ¿tú estás seguro que es mexicano?
I'm more Mexican than all y'all.
And it follows 3 Mexican Americans as they struggle to move back to their community in America and live the American dream, all while that dream threatens their local community. It's a really great show because it shows the dynamic between Mexican Americans who have gotten like their education or trying to give back to their community and how it conflicts with like the community that they're going and trying to give back to. It very much is a show that's going to explore the dynamic of different cultures within the Mexican American community. And while I'm not Mexican American, as a Black American, I can kind of relate to this because it's like different generations of families are fighting against what it is they're trying to do at the end of the day. One of the cool things about this is that they've got some new actors I haven't seen before.
Okay.
I think Netflix does really well with this. You've got Carlos Santos, who plays Chris, who's an aspiring chef. You have Carrie Martin, who plays Anna, who's an aspiring artist. And you have JJ Soria, who plays Eric, who works in Pop's shop. And then the thing about these characters all have their own backstories that are happening that are playing out in real time. And like, it actually feels like they're a real family. It doesn't feel like it was all scripted and manufactured for no good reason.
Okay.
The other thing about this show is that Netflix actually got 2 producers and directors who actually hadn't really done anything before. You have Marvin Lemus, Linda Yavete, Chavez, who are the creators. And like, their story is pretty cool. They actually pitched Showtime this show and FX and a bunch of other studios, and most of them said no.
Weird.
FX actually was like, yeah, sure, we'll partner with you on it. And they said, we got to the elevator and we're like, wait, they actually bought our show? Like the one that's like about our family and like our history and our heritage. And it's very rare that you see shows about Latinx personalities and characters that actually gets greenlit in a very positive way that isn't Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights, right? Which is also a very good show as well. I will say that this show is one of the best shows Netflix has done this year because it's just so well made. I will say because the actors are new, sometimes they don't necessarily hit the emotional points the way they should. I feel like there are some scenes in there, for example, when Anna discovers that the painting she painted is actually offending a lot of the neighborhood. It's supposed to be a really emotional scene there. It came across as a little bit cheesy, I would say. But for the most part, I've been binging it over the last, 24 hours, and it's pretty good.
I don't know how you stay up so late to watch all this stuff or wake up so early to watch all this stuff.
I have such a hard time sleeping. It's insane. But I will say Gentefied is definitely worth your watch. Each episode is about an hour long. There are 10 of them. We're on season 1. Fingers crossed that on like one day at a time, it gets renewed for another season. And, they can keep that authenticity that's come with the show. So let us know what you think about it. But I like this one. I think Netflix has finally done something right this year.
So it's like a hardcore elite.
It's like an elite that's grounded in reality,
Yeah.
and the only thing elite in this show have in common is they're both in a different language. The thing about this one though is like it is in English and in Spanish, and so they kind of go back and forth. Just like if you were in a Latinx community with old traditional families and newer families, how they would have what's called Spanglish being spoken all the time. As someone who speaks Spanish, I actually enjoy this a lot because I can actually, it feels quite natural to me. So I like it. Yeah. It's good. And also America Ferrara shows up in here and she's always great whenever she's in something too.
So it's kind of like it's more of a heartwarming show than it is more of a drama, or is it more of like balanced in between?
I think it's kind of a balance in between. Definitely not family friendly like for little kids, but teenagers can watch it just fine. You're going to be good. And just
so like more prime time.
Yeah, more like
drama.
prime time drama. Yeah,
Got it.
Not 24. That's not 24. You're not going to get Jack Bauer taking his little clippy things to your like nerves and saying where are they like, you're not going to get that, and it's Jack Bauer, so he actually usually whispered or yelled. There's no in between.
Oh, okay.
But what else are we watching this week? What else you got for us?
So there was another show that I was watching that I almost became my number one pick of the week, but I liked Hunters just more. I watched this show. I just thought Hunters was just such a cooler show.
Plus show of Hunters more than whatever he's about to recommend.
So did you ever see this movie called High Fidelity that starred John Cusack and Jack Black was in it?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, when I was a kid, I watched Comedy Central all the time.
I did not.
And so there are a bunch of shows that were on Comedy Central during the summer that they would just replay. One of them was High Fidelity. Another one was not Dead Like Me, Better Off Dead. And another one was like PCU. So High Fidelity is essentially about this main character named Rob, and he is going through this big dramatic heartbreak. He owns this record store, and he's all about his top fives. Everything's his top five. And it's actually based off a book that I haven't read, but I plan to. And what he decides to do is sort of go back through all of his past big breakups, his top 5 breakups, and figure out what's going on with him, what's wrong, yada, yada, yada.
It's a little bit of self-reflection is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. So they essentially took the story, and instead of being a male, it's a woman.
Okay.
Going back through her past boyfriends and a couple girlfriends. And it's actually Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, Zoe Kravitz. I like her.
Yeah. So I feel like this character is actually Zoe Kravitz, because when she was whatever her name was in Big Little Lies, I thought she was just a stick that had zero emotion.
Okay, yeah. I mean, her character wasn't very positioned for any good emotional range.
No.
Also, season 2 is just a nightmare.
Season 2 is trash. So anyway, this show is a lot of fun. Each episode is about 45 minutes to an hour, and there's about 10 of them. And you get this nice emotional ride. They definitely had a lot of stuff from the movie that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
One of the things that I really loved about the movie, that they have a very similar character, is this big boisterous, wants to be a head singer of a band and all that stuff. That was the Jack Black character.
Yeah.
The woman that they chose to play is actually pretty hilarious.
It's good.
So it's a lot of fun. It's called High Fidelity, about 10 episodes, and it's on Hulu.
Oh, wow. So it's not a Netflix show.
Nope. Hulu original.
About to tell you that the other show you should watch this week is Netflix's Cheer.
Oh,
It came out a little earlier this year. So we're back to Netflix, folks. But let me tell you, it follows the Navarro cheerleading team located in Texas as their coach, Monica Aldama, works with them so they can get to Daytona for their cheerleading world championships. I will tell you, I have never before seen a documentary about cheerleading that literally shows the pitfalls, the tumbles, the falls of the sport. So let me tell you this.
Were you just making a bunch of puns there?
No, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
I didn't do it on purpose.
I didn't do it on purpose.
But here's the thing. These cheerleaders are trying their hardest to get what's called on mat on Daytona, because there's only one event during the course of the year. And it's kind of crazy, right? When I was in a sport, on a sports team, I played volleyball and I played rugby in college. You had a game every weekend.
Yeah.
So if you messed up on game 1, you still had game 2 through 8 to do better.
Yeah.
But these cheerleaders, they have one shot during the year to do this. The point that I'm making here is that these people go to a 2-year college because they have the #1 cheerleading program in the nation. And so if they don't make mat the first year, which means they're not in Daytona, they have to do it the second year. Otherwise, you've wasted a whole lot of time and scholarship money. The thing about this show, though, is it shows another side of cheerleading you haven't seen before. Where the second thing is Netflix shot this so beautifully. It's an incredible, feat just to watch. And I will tell you, there's some weird, deep stuff happening in this show.
Okay.
It gets pretty deep. Definitely worth a binge. Each episode is 1 hour long. There are 9 of them. It's on Netflix. You can binge it tonight. You'll finish it by 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? Here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to go home and watch stuff. But first, make sure you subscribe to the podcast.
It's subscribe month.
And, you know, what you can also do is go to Apple Podcasts and rate the show as well. Those reviews help us climb up in the rankings. We really appreciate it. Remember, we're on Spotify. We're on, you know, what's the other thing? YouTube. We're on YouTube because we're literally on YouTube right now.
Dude, there's a lot of things we have to remember for this
there's
show.
So much to remember. But hey, thanks for watching. We're really glad you did this. And we'll see you next week. Bye,
Have
guys.
a good one, people.
Peace. Peace sign. I don't know. Hey guys, it's Jerry from Watch Again Podcast.
tell 'em to
Thanks
subscribe.
for watching
can't do
the
this
show.
without me.
We really appreciate
There's
it.
2 people on
Make
this
sure you
podcast.
check,
You got to look up there.
bruh.
You gotta
No, but check
watch
out
more things
check
over
out what we
there.
have to subscribe,
You got to hit the bell.
and then
hit the bell.
watch the other videos that we have as
Somewhere
well.
over there.
Dude, are you gonna keep? You fucking
Smash the
just-
like button.
Okay, I'm good. I'm
Punch
done.
the screen.
I'm done. Do you
What
want
is
to
the
fuck-
vernacular?
No, I'm good.
What do I tell them to do? Just subscribe, watch some stuff over there, hit the bell for the notifications. I mean, it's not that hard.